Welcome back to the Friday planning video. Hope you had a relaxing Thanksgiving weekend and an easier than expected re-entry into the normal life this week. Last Friday, we talked about the first installment of your 2025 year-end planning checklist, taxes, retirement contributions, healthcare accounts, and some financial housekeeping that sets you up for success. Excuse me, today we're going to walk through the second installment. These are the items that are just as important, but sometimes gets pushed to the bottom of the to-do list. And in most years, these are the items that spark the best conversations because they touch on legacy, generosity, family values, and long-term purpose. As I mentioned last week, as we head into the final weeks of the year, I want you to know something up front, that every Friday between now and December 31st will be dedicated to helping you finish the year strong. One topic at a time, one checklist at a time with a clear goal, making sure nothing important falls through the cracks. So take a deep breath, settle in, and let's go through some, additional planning topics that matter most as we head towards December 31st. Following last week's mention, let's add some meat on the bone to the charitable giving, making an impact and maximizing your tax efficiency. You all know by now, but this is not personal tax advice that is to stand alone from your tax advisor. It's just another tool to talk to them and bring them into a larger conversation with myself and possibly even your legal advisor also. There are four big things to understand in regard to charitable giving as we approach the year end. First, don't wait until the last week of December. Most charities get flooded at the year end, delays happen, processing lags, and the IRS is crystal clear. The gift has to be completed by December 31st. Now, if you know you're giving this year, make the gift earlier rather than later. We're going to get to this in a moment, but the more complex the vehicle, the more important getting it done early is. Second, think strategically about what you give, not just how much. Cash is easy, but appreciated securities, stocks, ETFs, mutual funds you've held for more than a year, they can be far more powerful. By donating appreciated assets, you avoid paying capital gains tax. You deduct the full fair market value, subject to limits, and the charity receives the full amount. This is one of the most efficient, elegant tools in all of financial planning, and it's exactly the kind of strategy we've spoken about all year. Now's the time to revisit. Now, third, consider bunching through a donor-advised fund. This is where planning and tax law intersect. Now, if you itemize your deduction, if your itemized deductions are close to the standard deduction, if you give charitably every year, if you want more control over timing, then bunching 2 or 3 years worth of giving into one larger donation this year, often into a donor advised fund, can make a lot of sense. You get the deduction now, you can grant that money to charities slowly over time. This gives you tax efficiency, flexibility, simplicity, and the ability to be thoughtful with your giving instead of rushed. There are a few ways to make this work, but this is one of those. Must get started on this now. Today's the deadline to get started for our team. Everything today and on will be done on a best effort basis. Sorry about that, but that's just how busy it's going to get with this. Now, fourth, if you're over age 70 and a half, QCDs, qualified charitable distributions, may be the smartest move of all. A QCD allows you to give directly from your IRA to a qualified charity, up to $108,000 in 2025, and that is indexed annually. It can be used like this. A QCD can reduce your taxable income and can satisfy all or part of your RMD. It does not require itemizing, and it can help reduce future RMDs. It doesn't increase your AGI, which protects things like Medicare premiums. This is one of those most important tools available, especially for those who give consistently and have IRA and RMD to work with. Let's move to the idea of giving to family, a simple, powerful year-end tool. No, your next generation did not sponsor this part of the video, though I think you'll agree that it can often benefit them as well as you. The annual gift tax exclusion is $19,000 per person in 2025. Here's what that means. You can give $19,000 to anyone. Your spouse can also give $19,000. These gifts do not reduce your lifetime exemption. They're entirely tax-free to you and the recipient. A married couple, of course, can then give $38,000 to each child, each grandchild, each future in-law, anyone, without touching the lifetime exemption. This is one of the simplest ways to transfer wealth across generation, and sometimes the most meaningful also. If it fits in your plan, and that is a big if, it can be a remarkable opportunity to help children or grandchildren. They can help them with all kinds of things. Pay down debt, start a Roth IRA, save for a home, pay for a wedding, cover education costs, build a cushion, or simply get a little financial breathing room. If gifting is on your mind, let's talk through the best path for your situation. On a similar topic, education planning, 529 contributions, and timing. Year end is also the perfect time to review whether you met your contribution goals for your 529 college savings account for your children or your grandchildren, whether you want to add more, whether automatic contributions need to be adjusted for next year, whether relatives are interested in contributing. Just a simple review. 529 plans grow tax-free when they're used for education. Small, consistent contributions, especially from parents and grandparents, they compound beautifully. If gifting and education planning overlap for you, let's coordinate it so it's smooth, intentional, and tax efficient. To get more details on these 529 plans, let me know and I'll send you the link to the 15-minute explanatory interview that we did earlier in the year. Now let's touch on estate planning, the quiet cornerstone of your financial life. Estate planning is one of those topics nobody loves to talk about, but everyone is glad to have done. There are several key items to review before year end. Review your estate documents and ask yourself, are your wills up to date? Do your healthcare directives still reflect your wishes? Do your powers of attorney still make sense? Do your successor trustees reflect the right people for this stage of your life? Did your family grow? Did anything major change? Even if everything seems unchanged, a quick review now can prevent confusion later. There's enough on this topic to fill a lot of videos. Keep an eye out for them. This is what I just mentioned and what I'm about to mention. This is the start. Review your account titling and beneficiary designation. This is huge and one that you will hear from me over and over again. Beneficiary designations override your will. If you added a child to the family, lost a loved one, had a marriage change, want to shift the percentages of inheritance, want to add secondary beneficiaries, now is the time. This is also one of the easiest fixes we can make. Sometimes it just takes a few minutes, but it needs to be reviewed. Review your successor designations on your IRAs, 401ks, annuities, and life insurance. This is especially important for blended families, aging parents, anyone with guardianship or care responsibilities. And if you haven't looked at this in a few years, I can almost guarantee that there's at least one account where an update is needed. What can we do for your year-end planning sequence? Here's how I recommend approaching the next 3.5 weeks. Step 1, watch this week's video. You're doing that. And if you missed last week, go back to that one. Step 2, email me with anything you know we should prioritize. Step 3, schedule time if you want to walk through the checklist together. Step 4, knock out the quick wins. Charitable giving, RMDs, QCDs, beneficiary updates, gifting decisions, education contributions, withholding corrections, retirement contribution adjustments. Step 5, we close out the year confident, calm, and in control. Not rushed, not scrambling, but intentional. And then we enter January with a clean slate. As I said in the post-Thanksgiving video, it cannot be said enough. Thank you again. Thank you for your trust, for your conversations, for letting me walk beside you in your financial life. I take that responsibility very seriously. And videos like this at this time of year are exactly why I do what I do. We'll continue this rhythm every Friday through the end of the year. If you need help sorting through these items or you want to talk through your personal checklist, just reach out. Have a wonderful weekend, and I'll see you next Friday.